Hey everyone, welcome to part 6, the final tutorial on weathering the Fine Mold's Millenium Falcon. This last step is going to be applying some pigment powders, some MIG Productions pigment powders, to enhance the smoky parts, a little bit of battle damage, stuff like that, and a little bit of a post-mortem on the entire project. Some things I forgot to go over, and I'd like to go over with you now. So what I've got here for this step is a bunch of crappy old brushes. These are just in very bad shape. These are perfect for pigments though. Notice how the ends are all messed up. They'll actually hold pigment very nice. And when you're applying pigments, they're pretty much going to destroy the brushes. So keep that in mind. Save your old brushes. They will be very useful for this sort of thing. I've got two pigment powders here. I've got Grimy Black and Black Smoke. I'm not going to use the Black Smoke for this project. The Black Smoke is very, very strong. Very black, very heavy when it's applied. It really covers well. So for this, we don't want to use it because it's going to just be overkill. I'm going to put that away. We're going to use Grimy Black. It's a little bit coarser. It's got a little bit of brown to it. And it doesn't stick as well, so it's going to adhere. It's going to look really nice when we apply it. So I'm going to crack that open, and I saved these sort of things here. These this was from some chocolate covered pretzels from a school fundraiser, but any little plastic trays like this are perfect for mixing and storing pigments and such. So we're going to take a little bit of pigment, and as you can see, the lid here is perfect for just getting rid of the excess, and then it dumps right back into the bottle. And I'm just going to lightly kind of apply that where I want it. I think I got enough on the brush. And I'm going to apply it and streak it down the area that I want to be smoky based on the reference. And it takes a little bit. The reason I'm using this as opposed to the Black Smoke is this would already be solid black with the Black Smoke. This, it's a little bit more gradual of a build-up. And it just works better. It's not overkill, which is what you don't want. You'll have some excess pigment here. You can just blow that away. You're done. And we've got our Black Smoke. I mean our Grimy Black, sorry. I'm going to add a little bit up here. And you're just working it into the surface. Pigments will adhere very nice to a flat surface. They won't adhere to a glossy surface at all, so don't even waste your time. And that's it. That's for this one. I'll do these two a little bit later. The other thing I wanted to show you is adding some little blaster scars. And according to the reference, right up in here is a few little round ones. So I'm going to take a small brush, work some pigment into it, and I'm just going to lightly dab where the blaster marks are going to be. Blow away the excess. And I could take and feather this with a brush that doesn't have any pigment. And see, it's not really going away now. I feathered it away as much as it's going to be. And that's it. I have some blaster marks. I could enhance those a little later if I'd like to, add some more. You'll notice I'm wearing gloves. When you're working with pigments, you're pretty much dusting for fingerprints. So this is why this is the last step. I don't want to get fingerprints all over the project. I don't want pigmented fingerprints everywhere. That would be a mess. After I put all the pigments on this top half, I'm going to put a little bit of the MIG Productions Pigment Fixer. Make sure you shake that up real nice. See the bubbles in there. I'm going to put a little bit of this in my airbrush. And I'm just going to lightly mist it just over where I place the pigments. Don't soak the surface with it. Just lightly mist it. You might see some of the pigments disappear a little bit. That's fine. Once it dries, you could add a little bit more. And just to get to the effect you want. You want to build up gradually. And that leads me to what I wanted to go over with last, which was basically some little things I forgot to talk about. I made some notes. You'll notice at no point in here did I add a wash to this model. What's great about doing all these steps is the build-up of the discoloration, of the panel shading, of the streaking, etc., that all ends up collecting around the edges, in the panel lines, etc., and you end up with what you would usually do for a wash, but it's more subtle, it's more natural, the colors are varied, and it's not as sloppy as your standard wash would be. Don't skip any of the steps. All these steps, they build up gradually to create the desired effect. If I'd skipped anything, I wouldn't have the look that I do now. Everything builds and enhances upon the steps before it. And take your time with it. Don't rush through it. Do all the steps. Experiment with some of the colors. I used blues and rust and stuff in here. But if you were doing a different colored vehicle, you might want to try some greens, try some yellows. I've used blue, yellow, and burnt sienna or rust colors for on tanks, and it looks really nice on green tanks. And you can modify any of these techniques for different kits. So, experiment with them, play around with them, see what works best for you. So that's pretty much it for the Millenium Falcon weathering tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll try to do some more tutorials in the future. I've got some, in my noggin here I'm planning. So glad you guys liked it. Enjoy and happy modeling. See you guys later.